Hello, my dear students. How are you today? I hope you are all fine. Today, we will talk about Unit 2, Lesson 2. It's about solution. About solution. First, what is the difference between figure A and B? Particles of salt are not seen through the water after stirring. Okay? B. Particles of mud are seen through the water after stirring. Okay? So when a solid substance dissolves in water, a solution is formed. Here give a reason. Particles of salt are not seen through the salty solution. Why? Because salt dissolves in water and it forms a salty solution. Particles of mud are seen through the water. Why? Because mud doesn't dissolve in water. Formation of solutions. Solutions consist of solvent and solute. Let's start with solvent. It is a substance in which a solute disperses or dissolves. For example, water, alcohol, benzene, and so on. Secondly, we'll talk about solute. What is a solute? It's a substance which dissolves in a solvent. For example, salt, sugar, and so on. So the solubility or dissolving of a solute in a solvent produces solution. What is a solution? It's a mixture in which the solute breaks down into its most basic particles that spread through the solvent. Note that water is called a common solvent. Why? Because thousands of substances dissolve in it. So it's called a common solvent. Let's do this activity to show the formation of solution solubility process. We have salt, water, glass beaker, a glass rod. First, we put a spoon of salt in an amount of water, then stir by using the glass rod. Then, we observe that salt breaks down into small particles that disappear in water, forming a salty solution. So we conclude that the formed salty solution consists of a solute which is salt and a solvent which is water. Number 2, we conclude that stirring process is necessary to dissolve the solute in the solvent. Also, solubility process can be expressed as follows: solute plus solvent giving us solution. So what is solubility process? It's the process by which a solute dissolves in a solvent leading to the disappearance of the solute. Here a question. Give a reason. In a sugary solution, sugar is considered the solute because it dissolves in the solvent water to form the sugary solution. Substances can be classified according to their solubility into a soluble substance and insoluble substance. So what is a soluble substance? It's a substance that dissolves in a solvent, for example, salt in salty solution. What is an insoluble substance? It's a substance that doesn't dissolve in solvent, for example, mud in water. Here is a note. Note that insoluble substance can be separated by filtration process. Filtration process. Do you know the structure of blood? Your blood is a mixture of elements and compounds because it contains white blood cells, red blood cells, water, and a number of dissolved substances. The different components of blood can be separated and used by doctors in different ways. Okay, The ratio of these substances in your blood changes daily, but the identity of the mixture doesn't change. What are the factors affecting the solubility process? Number 1, quantity of solvent. Number 2, temperature. Number 3, stirring. Number 4, the kind of solute. Let's do this activity to prove that quantity of solvent affects the solubility process. We have sugar, water, 2 beakers, stopwatch, and glass rod. First step, we get 2 equal quantities of sugar solute. Then put the first quantity in 300 milliliters of water or solvent and the other quantity in 50 milliliters of water. Second step, stir well with a glass rod and record the time needed for sugar to dissolve completely in each case. We observe that dissolving sugar in 300 milliliters of water takes a shorter time than that needed to dissolve the same quantity in 50 milliliters of water. So, we conclude that solubility process depends on the amount of solvent. Why? Because by increasing the quantity of solvent, the speed of solubility increases and vice versa. The second factor is temperature. Let's do this activity to prove that temperature affects the solubility process. First step, put 2 equal amounts of sugar in 2 beakers containing the same amount of water as in this figure. Then heat beaker B and leave beaker A without heating. Then record the time needed to dissolve sugar in each case. We observe that sugar in beaker B takes a shorter time to dissolve than in beaker A. So we conclude by increasing the temperature and using the same amount of solvent and solute, the dissolving or solubility time decreases. So give a reason. Dissolving sugar in hot water is faster than in cold water because when the temperature increases, the speed of the solubility increases. The third factor is stirring. Let's do this activity to prove that stirring affects the solubility process. First, we put 2 equal amounts of sugar in 2 beakers containing the same amount of water. Then stir one of them and leave the other without stirring as shown in this figure. Record the time needed to dissolve sugar in water. We observe that in case of stirring, the sugar takes a short time to dissolve. So we conclude that stirring increases the speed of solubility process. The fourth factor is the kind of solute. To prove that the kind of solute affects the solubility process, put an